Welcome to Community Restorative. We are focusing on the neck and jaw this evening. So we're starting in constructive rest, and you can land there with your head supported however you need it to be comfortable. And then just noticing the way that your whole body is touching the ground. Take a place that you want to focus on. So it could be the feet, it could be the sacrum, it could be the back of the heart, wherever it feels comfortable for your attention to rest in, and a place that helps to ground you into your body easily. Give yourself 3 breaths, feeling that place. And you can use a long sigh now. And then scanning through your body, part by part, just noticing what the sensation of the body feels like in each place. And whatever you can sense and feel is valid and valuable information. When you arrive to the head, notice the jaw, notice the sides of the head, the temples, notice the facial muscles, and notice the center of the head. Notice the body as a whole. So where are you starting at in your practice this evening? Sense the location and depth of your breathing right now. Observe as well the movement of your mind, the movement of your emotional space. For your Sankalpa this evening, I'd like to offer a practice of asking questions. Sometimes when we ask ourselves questions, it can help open us up into possibility. So some questions that you can ponder is, what am I grateful for? What am I learning? And what truly supports me? And you can stay with all of these questions, as they trickle into your awareness throughout the practice, or you can pick one question that really has a lot of resonance for you and can come back to that inquiry throughout your movement, throughout your stillness. Before we come into the self massage, notice if you can feel the breath moving into the back of your heart. So the sense of the breath expanding into the middle, back, and then also out through the front of the chest. Notice the depth of the movement of the breath, especially in the upper body right now. Does the breath feel like it's arising from a place deep within, or is it arising from a more superficial location? And then is there any movement of breath down into your lower body? So when you're ready to, you can elevate your head on a block. This helps to position the ball better. So you can play around with the height of the head support. Um, for most of us, the head on the block first in the lowest setting, and then the balls in the tote for now. Um, on the block, and then we place the head right at the occipital ridge on the balls. So it feels like the 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 ridge is kind of like hanging on the balls, getting a little support there. So let me check. I'm still on the in the camera. And in this position, your chin will tilt downwardly, and you're feeling like the occipital ridge is getting hooked on the balls. And you can just land here and let those, the back of your neck muscles, just let them elongate here. Take a few breaths and just allow yourself to receive that pressure. And then when you feel like adding a little movement, you can. So I'm feeling as I stay that there's an elongation in the back of the neck, and I want to accentuate it a little bit more. So I'm going to take my hands to my head, and I'm just going to slightly guide my head downward more to stretch those neck erectors even more. You can do that as well. So just gently guiding your head to go to nod down even more. And you could even exaggerate that stretch by tucking your tail under, but because you're lying down, it's actually going to maybe lift up towards the floor more. So you're making a big curve with your spine, a C curve with your spine. And breathing into here. And then when you're ready, you can unfurl that C curve. You can release your tail back down. And then you can let your head drop back, the back of your head landing back. And you can gently guide your head as well. And so you're basically going to initiate a gentle nod motion, nodding yes. And you can get the sacrum involved. You can guide the head movement with your hands to exaggerate it. so that the neck muscles can be a little bit more passive in this movement. So getting a yes movement through rocking the sacrum, guiding the head with the hands as you like. So in a range that is comfortable for you. Sometimes when it's super intense, it's better to go more slowly, allowing the breath to open up, using the sigh whenever you like. And then you can come back to the starting position. You can widen your feet and you can nod no by starting from the windshield wiper with the hips. So letting the tilting of the sacrum pull the spine and the head over to one side. And by the way, you are welcome. So I am feeling this, and this feels pretty intense. So if you feel like you need to take a break before the rest of the class does, you can always take a break and just pull the balls out and just take a moment and release from that pressure. We're all different in terms of how much pressure works for our body. Next time when you drop your knees over to the right side, you could lift the left arm and turn your head over to the right more, and it's just going to change where you put pressure on the ball. And you could stay there and move your head in a yes and a no, so you're massaging into a new place on your head. And then same thing, when you drop your knees over to the left, you can turn your whole body and you could reach with that right arm, and it's just going to change the location on where you're contacting the balls. And the next time when you come all the way over to the right side, go ahead and remove the balls, and you can turn all the way to the right. We'll take the ball, one ball out, and we're going to massage on the jaw muscle and the attachment of the sternocleidomastoid. So it's more on the side of the head. And so first location is going to be on your jaw muscle on this right side. So you can walk your fingers along your jawline and you can walk it up a little bit, and you palpate for the masseter by, just opening and closing your mouth and seeing if you can feel that contraction of the masseter. And you could use the ball and nuzzle the ball into the masseter and then put the ball on the block. And you can lean in so that you're putting the pressure on the ball. You're in charge of how much of your head you want to balance on the ball. For less pressure, keep some of your head on the block as well. For more pressure, you can roll completely on the ball and balance your head on the ball, on that point with the masseter. So find the amount of pressure that works for your body. And then once you're there, you can open and close your mouth. You can wiggle the jaw around, maybe in a circle. Or you go in the other direction. And then add in nodding. Yes. Nodding no. So exploring the massage all around that masseter. And then I'm also, as I'm doing this, I want a little more pressure, so I lifted my head up, and you could actually make a circle as well, if you like, a little more intense. Another way to do this is instead of moving the head on the ball, you could turn onto your head and just use the ball and push the ball with the hand onto the jaw. And actually like the twisting technique here of twisting the tissues and just breathing into it. Uh, it creates movement in the superficial tissue, and then when you release it, it helps to bring the blood flow back, and it can help release some of that superficial layer of tension. So you could add in the twisting technique. You pin the ball on the tissue and you can twist. And then we're going to move to the mastoid process. The You can find your earlobe and then walk your finger behind your earlobe and feel for the bony protrusion behind it. And then walk your finger down the bony protrusion so that you feel a tendon at the bottom of that bony landmark. And that's the tendon of your side neck muscle, that the big superficial one. And you can put the ball there on the mastoid process, or and you can put the pressure of your head's weight on there. Breathe into here, and then make little nodding motions again, nodding yes, nodding no. And you could even, again, twist the ball. You could do it just with your hands. You could try to twist and lean in as well. Good. And then roll back onto your back. We're going to get that SEM muscle, that side neck muscle, a little bit. So you can go back onto your back, come and palpate for that side neck muscle again. So it's right behind your ear. You find that mastoid process, and then you walk your finger down to the side of your neck. We don't want to put the weight of the neck and the head on this. We're just going to use the ball. So you can just gently push the ball into the side of the neck, and then you can twist it again. And then to add a little more stretch sensation, as you twist the ball on the side of your neck, turn your head away and breathe into here. Good. And then travel the ball down the base of your neck along the side along that muscle. And then nuzzle it into the base of the neck at the top of the shoulders. And same thing, twist and turn your head away. And it'll be better if you can be on the skin. It can grab skin and create that stretch effect. Good. And that muscle goes all the way and attaches into the far end of the collarbone. So you can go towards the far end of the collarbone, and then you can do another pin and twist there and breathe into that weird sensation. And then release. And just take a moment on your back and notice the difference between the side of your jaw and your neck that you've just released versus the side that you haven't yet. Switch sides. And you can use the other ball so that you wear down the balls evenly. So we'll come back to the jaw muscle, the masseter, and you can roll over to your left side. You can palpate for that jawline and up, open and close your mouth to feel the masseter contract and release. And then place the ball there. You can lean the ball into the block to pin it down. You can keep some of your head still on the block for less pressure. You can roll completely over and balance on the ball as well. Take a breath here, and you can start with nodding yes. You can nod no, rolling in the ball. You can open and close your mouth as you do those nods as well. So adding in a pin and stretch technique, opening and closing the joint. And you can try to make a circle. If this is too much pressure, lying down like this, you could come back onto your side completely and just use your hand pushing into the jaw. Okay. And we'll release the masseter, and you can rest back in the center of your head and take your finger to the earlobe, go behind the earlobe and find the round bony protrusion. Walk your finger down the bottom tip of that rounded protrusion until you find the tendon of your sternocleidomastoid, and nuzzle the ball into that attachment place of the tendon to the bone, and pin the ball down in whatever amount of pressure that you want. And just lean your head over into the ball and push the, let the ball land on the block. And, or you could just do it with your hand. And then you can add in moving the head, yes. Moving the head, no. And even though, it's technically not where the jaw is, like I notice if I open and close my mouth here, I actually feel greater and less pressure as well. So you can add in moving the mouth if that is an effective way of changing the pressure. You and then if you're on the side, completely come on to your back, completely have the head in center, because now we're going to use the hand only to massage along the SCM with the ball. And so you can continue to feel for that side strap of your neck. So walk your finger down that tendon and feel the SCM on the side. And we want to get right in that big middle part of it. And you can nuzzle the ball into the side of your neck. And pin your skin down with the ball and twist your skin with the ball. And as you twist your skin, turn your head away from the ball to deepen the stretch. Take a few breaths, just feeling this release through the superficial layer of the side of your neck. And then after about 2, 3 breaths, move the ball down the side of your neck into the base of it. And then again, nuzzle the ball into the tissue with as much pressure as you like. Keep that pressure down as you twist the skin and twist the ball. And you can add in rotating the head again away to increase that sensation. Good. And then the last location is following that muscle all the way to the far end of the collarbone and pressing it down at that attachment place towards the far end of the collarbone. Twist. I'm holding it now with my other hand because it gives me a little bit better leverage. And breathing into here. And release that self massage of the upper body. Just take a moment and sense the depth of your breath now. Noticing if you can sense maybe more movement, more fluidity to the breath. You can remove the block and lower your head all the way to the ground. We'll do some gentle movements to prepare the rest of the body. So we'll come back to the pelvic movement to loosen up the whole spine. So you can start coming back to the pelvic tilt, tilting the sacrum forward so your low back arches more, and then pressing your low back into the floor, and it feels like your sacrum is tucking under, and rocking your sacrum forward and backward, and allow your neck and your head to receive the movement. Gentle rocking motion that's happening all the way up the spine into the head, allowing the jaw to continue its release. And then come into a neutral position with the pelvis and tilt your pelvis to the right so that the left hip rises up higher, and then tilt your pelvis over to the left so that the right ASIS rises up higher. So you're rocking your sacrum now side to side. So rocking side to side, allowing the head to move along with the rest of the spine. Okay, coming back to center, level the two frontal hip bones. And now tilt your pelvis in a diagonal. So you could tilt the from the diagonal from the lower part of the right pelvis to the upper part of the left pelvis. So you can lift the lower part of the right up and then lift the upper rim of the pelvis on the left side up. So rocking at a diagonal. Then coming back into smaller movements, back to level pelvis. And then find the other diagonal, lifting the lower left part of your pelvic clock up, and then lifting the upper right part of your pelvic clock up. So rocking your sacrum in the opposite diagonal. Continue to allow the jaw to soften, neck to soften, and then move your pelvic clock like you're tracing a circle through your pelvis by lifting up one number at a time, or you can think of all those points that we did between the different um, cardinal directions. And allow your neck to receive the circular movement of your pelvis. Then go in the other direction. So these pelvic clocks can help to release more tension through the upper spine. Good. And then make smaller and smaller and slower movements until you land back in neutral with your sacrum. Then we'll stretch the arms out wide to the sides. You can walk the feet together. Then this time, you can look over to your right side and turn that arm externally. And then roll the other arm internally. And then you could drop your knees over to the left side. And then inhale, you can come back to the starting position. You can exhale and turn your head to the left. Roll the arm externally, and then roll the other arm internally, dropping the knees to the right. So moving at your own pace, rolling your arms on the floor in opposite directions, turning your head towards the arm that is turning out, and dropping your knees away from your head position. And next time when you finish the second side, come back to stillness. And we'll roll over onto the right side. So I'll be on my left. If you can rest your arm underneath your head on that right side, and both of your knees are bent. If you need to modify because your right shoulder isn't comfortable underneath your head, you can support your head with a pillow, and you can take the arm out to the front. And the knees are bent 90 degrees, and the thigh is, up. The knee is up in line with the thigh or the hip. And then you could reach your left hand, your top hand, out in front with your heart. And as you inhale, you can slide that left hand further so that it pulls your head off midline and it turns your nose towards the ground. So there's a little stretch through your neck like this. And then hover your top knee off of your bottom one, but just as high as the hip socket, not higher. And keep the ankle as high as the knee and slowly swing that top leg back behind you. And you can slide that top hand further away. This is your inhalation phase. And then as you exhale, you can pull the hand to your heart. Turn your chest to the ceiling, swing your leg forward towards your belly, and reach your hand back. And you can continue like that. As you inhale, you slide your hand forward, you swing your leg back. As you exhale, you go the other direction. You swing your leg forward, you turn your chest to the ceiling, and you reach your arm back. Just in a range that feels good for your body. So it's a twisting motion that helps to loosen up the spine. There's a neck stretch at that end of that reach. And it's also working to build stability through your hips. And then you decide where you want to stay. So some of us like with the hand forward and the leg back, and we can stay there for 3 breaths. Some of us like the other way with the leg forward and the arm reaching back. Good, and then slowly come back onto your side, and we'll roll over onto the left side. So you can come onto the left, and if it's comfortable, you're resting your head on your arm, 90-degree shape with the legs. And then the right hand is straight out in line with the heart, palm on the floor. And you can swing the top leg back as you slide the top hand forward. And then as you exhale, you switch the arm and the leg. And it feels like a big stride, the contralateral movement. And you want to just go in a range. Whoops. You want to move in a range that's comfortable for your body. And then stay in whichever end of the movement feels best for your body. Then come back onto your side. And we're going to build a long bolster for our restorative. So it's a supported bridge variation. This opens up the whole front of the body. If you have 3 yoga blankets, you could set it up. The first part of the bolster is 1 blanket, and it is going to elevate the upper body. And you want some real estate on your mat for your head, because your head is actually going to be off, and this top edge supports your heart, and the shoulders come down into your mat. So it's a heart opener, a stretch through the chest, but we want to make sure that the shoulders are down, so it's not a flip top position for the neck. The neck is actually, along the floor in more of a neutral position rather than an extension. And then the other two blankets can raise the legs higher than the chest so that we get basically a little bit of an inversion effect when the legs are higher. Yeah. If you're at home and you don't have this, what you could do is you could just rest the legs up on an ottoman or something like that as well, and that can work too. So if you have the same setup like I do, you would sit on the first blanket on the middle where it's in the middle with the other two, and then you lower your back onto your first blanket, support your head, lower your head down, and then this is where you might have to make little adjustments. So I came down and the top of my shoulders are still up in the air. So I'm going to push into my feet and slide the top of my shoulders. And then I'm going to rest my legs on the other one. Straps can be handy here to strap the legs together if they feel like they want to fall off. Then it's basically a gentle inversion with a gentle stretch through the chest. And as we stay here, um, we'll do a few practices to open up the breathing. Well, the first practice is two-part inhalation. But first, before we do that, I'd like you to sense and feel your inhalation in your middle back, this quality of your breath expanding more into the middle back, into the back of the ribs and the sides of the ribs. Finding a little more ease in those intercostals, allowing the diaphragm to find its lateral range, and relaxing around the collarbones, the jaw, the shoulders more. Keeping your awareness on your lateral breath, and we'll come into this two-part inhalation practice. You want to go at your own pace with this. You want to make it a comfortable amount for your breath, your nervous system. So next time when you inhale, you can pause at your halfway point, and you can hold that pause for a couple of seconds. And then you inhale the rest of the way. And then you can pause for a couple of seconds. And your exhale will be one exhale. And see if you can allow that exhale to be very steady, very smooth and long, and approximate it so that it is as long as all the four parts of your inhalation. And so during that inhale practice, you might even also feel the breath move down into the lower body. Wherever we're at with that, we just want to make sure in the inhale phase that we're not tightening the jaw, the eyes, the shoulders, consciously relaxing in the upper body. Do another round of that two-part inhale. And then you can let go of any effort and just simply receive your breathing. Now we'll shift into a two-part exhale. So it's slightly different. This one, you allow your body to breathe on its own, just a completely natural breath, natural inhale, natural exhale. Then you follow the exhale to its completion. Once it feels like it's done, you step in and nudge a little bit more stale air out through your nose. So it feels like you're trying to blow maybe a candle out through your nose. So maybe it can sound something like this. And then you just relax your belly and allow your body to inhale again on its own. Allow your body to exhale on its own. You follow it until you feel like it's complete. Then you nudge a little more of the dead volume out through your nose. And the belly will just draw in a little bit to help with that expulsion. But remember to relax the belly so that the inhale can come in easily. Very soft effort, very soft, slight interference with your natural breath by expelling a little bit more of dead volume out. And then noticing you expel a little bit more of that dead volume out, what happens to your subsequent inhalation? Is it a little bit more fluid, a little bit more available? Do one more round of that two-part exhalation. And let go again of all effort and simply receive. Receive body as it is. See your breath as it is. Sense the depth and quality of your breathing now. When you're ready, you can bend both of your knees. You can place the feet on the ground if you've got a strap. You might have to untangle yourself first. And then you can roll over to one side, releasing that back bend in your upper back. Will come out and come into forward fold, and we'll take that forward fold twist, and I'm going to guide it with the leg long on one side, but if you want to do another version, you're welcome to do another version with both knees bent. So come into the right side, and you can have the right outer hip facing the end of a bolster. So I'm using my 2 blanket stack, and then I'm going to kick my right leg out to the side. So out to the side of the mat, and let me move back. It's more visible. And my left leg is knee bent behind me, and I'm going to rotate towards the bolster and come down. And a little adjustment that you can make is you can lift your hip up and lengthen the waist away from the bolster to stretch your low back out more. You can lengthen through the right leg as well. Make any adjustments that you need to so that you're extra comfortable. And we'll stay feeling the way that the breath is massaging into the back. What truly supports me? What am I grateful for? What am I learning at this time? Watch your body breathe here for 3 more rounds. When you're ready, you can slowly transition out of this first side of this belly down twist and find your second side. And sometimes, you might feel like doing a couple stretches before you go to the second side. So listen to your body. Sometimes some cat cows in between can be helpful if there's a lot of back tension. Making your way onto your second side. We want to have the knees to one side and most of the front body supported on the bolster. You can shift around so that your back is fully, your front body is fully supported. That way, your back muscles can release. So if you're a little bit tilted, the back muscles will have to grip and keep your body from falling over. You're on the left side, a variation. So most people are comfortable with the arms, palms down, elbows bent. But some of us like having, if we're on the left, we'll take that left arm and lengthen it down by the bodies and internally rotate it so that the palm is up by the hip. And that can be a helpful release on the side of the neck. And as we stay, we can train our focus to stay with the body and the breath through the back body, especially here. So getting a sense of the inhalation, massaging down the torso into the low back, into the sacrum, into the hips. And then on the exhalation, feeling how the body is able to soften and receive the support of the bolster more. And allowing that receptivity to happen. watching the ebb and flow of your breath. 3 more times here. When you're ready, you can slowly support yourself out of this second side. And it's yogi's choice how you want to rest in the last position. My suggestion is you can try a variation of corpse where the torso is higher than the legs. And what this does it gives us a stretch again through the chest, but it can also allow the inhalation to move down into the belly a little bit more easily. So you can repurpose your bolster. So I would make the bolster shorter, maybe using just one blanket and then putting the other blanket on top so that the head is higher. And then I have 3 blankets, so I'm gonna put the third one over my hips. And the weight of the blanket over the hips can help to ground us and it helps to take the breath into the lower body better. So it's just a position where the torso is higher now than the legs. And you can make little movements, make yourself extra comfortable. Just noticing all the different places where your body is touching some support. There's that quality of the ground and the support that you have. And then begin to watch how your breath is nourishing you with its movement all the way down your back body. See if you can sense even the subtle inhalation flowing down to the legs and into the feet. Allowing the belly to soften and receive the breath, relaxing the low back, hips, relax in the solar plexus, right underneath the front of the ribs, relax in the middle back, soften any tension around the sternum, tension between the ribs. And then letting the back of the heart rest into the bolster more. Letting the shoulders and the arms become heavier. Relaxing in the jaw, the tongue. And imagine that your face is as soft, restful as that of a sleeping baby's. The Sycamore by Wendell Berry. In the place that is my own place, whose earth I am shaped in and must bear, there is an old tree growing, a great sycamore that is a wondrous healer of itself. Fences have been tied to it, nails driven into it, hacks and whittles cut in it. The lightning has burned it. There is no year it has flourished in that has not harmed it. There is a hollow in it that is its death, though its living brims whitely at the lip of the darkness and flows outward. Over all its scars has come the seamless white of the bark. It bears the gnarls of its history healed over. It has risen to a strange perfection in the warp and bending of its long growth. It has gathered all accidents into its purpose. It has become the intention and radiance of its dark fate. It is a fact, sublime, mystical, and unassailable. In all the country, there is no other like it. I recognize it. I recognize in it a principle, an indwelling, the same as itself and greater, that I would be ruled by. I see that it stands in its place and feeds upon it and is fed upon and is native and maker. Taking 3 breaths into the belly, to the lower body, noticing this place of intelligence. Taking 3 breaths, connecting to the heart, noticing the breath nourishing through the heart space, front and through the back, resting into this space of intelligence. When you're ready, you can introduce little movements back into your body. your pace, your timing. You can come up into a comfortable seat and just noticing what your whole system is like after your practice. Feeling the body, the breath, the mental layer, the emotional layer. Again, and we'll join the hands together at the heart. Take a full breath to heart center. We'll bow with the head to the heart. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. So I'm gonna unmute us and
That was lovely, Anchi. Thank you. As a gift.
oh, there's a kitty cat. So I was thinking we could finish with if you'd like with those inquiries. What was it's like what supports you? What are you learning at this time? And what are you grateful for? And if you want to share anything that came up for you from those questions. Thank you.
I'm grateful for my family and for my teachers who are continuing to help us in our yoga practice, even though we're all self-isolating. And I'm grateful for spring.
Thank you, Ricky. I'm grateful for the creek near my house and the big trees that we have around here. And I was looking out at one of the big trees out the window, and I realized it's like trees are my cathedrals. Like I just love how they raise my spirit. So I'm very grateful to have the presence of these trees.
I'm grateful for my health, for the people around me, and learning to be more appreciative of the simpler things in life.
I'm grateful for my family and our home, and I'm learning how to live and care for this body. And I'm supported by yoga and the earth and all the plants.
Thank you. Would you like to share? I didn't catch your name.
I'm Hannah. I'm the youngest child of Vicky's. I'm grateful to have family so close that I can spend time with, and I'm grateful for the loved ones around me and my pets and the world outside that I can still escape to in times of need.
I'm grateful for community. It's really great to check in every week and to practice in this way. Thank you for coming to practice and to have a simple week, a healthy week, and yeah.
Thank you, Anchi. It's a gift. You have a gift that you share with us.
Thank you. Sundays are my favorite day.
And Amanda suggested that I lead a self massage workshop, a roll with it workshop soon. So I will schedule one and probably towards the end of the month. And I'll probably shoot to do it on a Saturday so it doesn't conflict with today's class. But we'll do a session that's mostly self massage, and then we'll do a yoga nidra at the end.
That would be wonderful. I'm
Yeah,
in.
yeah, it's so needed because the touch is so essential, and right now for most of us who do get massages, it's kind of not allowed right now. So I'll keep you posted and to see you next week.
Yes, you will. Thank you, Anchi.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.